This is the video for 2-6. A ratio compares two numbers by division. So for example, when I say 1/2, what I'm saying is 1 divided by 2. A rate is the ratio between two related quantities in different units. So 60 miles per 3 hours is a rate. And remember, the word per acts as a division bar. A unit rate is when rates are expressed as a quantity over 1 unit. So 60 miles per 3 hours is the rate, but after we divide it out, we get 20 miles per 1 hour. And so 20 miles per hour is the unit rate. A conversion factor is the number needed to convert a measurement from one set of units to another. 12 inches per 1 foot is the conversion factor. And a conversion factor is always equal to 1 because remember, anything over itself is 1 and 12 inches is the exact same thing as 1 foot. And finally, unit analysis. This is also called dimensional analysis. Some books refer to this as factor label method. It all means the same thing. But unit analysis or dimensional analysis is using the rules of multiplying and reducing fractions to solve problems involving different units. So this is how I set this up. I take my given units over 1 times my desired units over my given units, and I multiply them straight across. And when I do so, my given units cancel out and I'm left with my desired units. So when they're set up like this, my given units cross cancel and I'm left with my desired units. And that's the key. That's what we're trying to do. So let me show you an example of what I mean by this given over 1 times desired over given. But before I do so, I had asked you to read this prior to watching this video. So if you have not done so yet, please hit pause and read this. But example number 1, converting units. So again, given over 1 times desired over given. So what am I given? I'm given 330 minutes over 1 times my desired. What am I trying to get to? I'm trying to get to hours. And so what am I trying to remove? I'm trying to remove minutes. Because when I set up the units like this, my minutes cross cancel and I'm left with hours. Always fill in your units first and then fill in the numerical part of the conversion factor, because the tricky part is knowing what goes on the top and what goes on the bottom. So fill in your units first so you know what needs to go on the top and what needs to go on the bottom, and then go back and fill in your numbers. And if I'm trying to get rid of minutes, if minutes is on the top here, it has to be on the bottom here, so I'm left with hours. And so now, what is my conversion factor? 1 hour is 60 minutes, and then I just multiply the fractions straight across. And I'm left with 5.5 hours. Okay, let's do the next one. 15 kilograms equals how many grams? Again, what's my given? I'm given 15 kilograms. That's what I'm starting with. But what's my desired unit? What am I trying to get to? I'm trying to get to grams. So that's going to go on the top, and I want the kilograms on the bottom. Why do I want the kilograms on the bottom? Because I want those to cross cancel. So now that I've set up my units and I know what needs to go on the top and what needs to go on the bottom, now let me fill in my conversion, the numerical part of the conversion factor. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, and so now I just multiply my fractions straight across, and I get 15,000 grams. Now again, I know you could have solved this problem just by looking at it probably. 15 kilograms is 15,000 grams. But remember, that's not what this lesson is about. this lesson is about the process of dimensional analysis. It's about proving to me through dimensional analysis how and why 15 kilograms is the same thing as 15,000 grams. And it is the same thing because remember, this is equal to 1. All we're doing is multiplying this by 1, and so we're not changing the value. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause and work out these on your own, being careful to set them up in a way that the units you're trying to remove will cross-cancel. Here are my answers, 12.5 meters and 553.4 meters approximately. If you got this wrong, pause the video and check to see how I set this up. Make sure you understand. If centimeters is on the top here, centimeters has to be on the bottom here, so they cross-cancel. If feet is on the top here, feet needs to be on the bottom here, so they cross-cancel. And so in both situations, I'm left with meters. Okay, so let's go to the next one. 50 yards in 5.8 seconds is how many miles per hour? So I'm converting a rate, and in this conversion, I have a double conversion because I'm going from yards to miles, and I'm going from seconds to hours. I'm going from yards to miles and seconds to hours. So I have a double conversion. So first of all, what's my rate? My rate is 50 yards per 5.8 seconds, and I have a double conversion. So always go through and set up your units first. So I'm trying to get rid of yards. If yards is on the top here, yards has to be on the bottom here because I want them to cross-cancel. If seconds is on the bottom here, seconds needs to be on the top here because I want them to cross-cancel. And so now what am I trying to get to? I'm trying to go from yards to miles. And then I'm trying to go from seconds to hours. And so you can see how I'm going to be left with miles per hour. So what's my conversion? 1 mile is 1760 yards, and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. And so now I'm just multiplying straight across. The top is going to be 50 times 3600, which is 180,000. Miles over 1760 times 5.8, which is 10,208 hours. But let's bring this down to its unit rate. So that's going to be about 17.6 miles per hour. So go ahead and try this on your own, and remember, first start by setting up your rate. Then fill in your units, being careful to put those units that are trying to cancel out in a position where they can cross-cancel. Okay, so let's go over this together. 100 feet in 3.1 seconds, the rate is 100 feet per 3.1 seconds. I have a double conversion because I'm trying to go from feet to miles and from seconds to hours. And so if feet is on the top here, feet needs to be on the bottom here because I want those to cross-cancel. If seconds is on the bottom here, seconds needs to be on the top here because I want them to cross-cancel. And now what am I trying to do? I'm trying to go from feet to miles and from seconds to hours. And so 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. And now I just multiply them straight across. And so I have 360000 miles per 16368 hours, because I'm left with miles per hour. Always circle out the unit that you're left with so you don't lose track of your units. About 22. So 360,000 miles in 16,368 hours is the same thing as saying 22 miles per hour. Okay, so go ahead and do your homework, and if you have any questions, let me know. And while you're doing your homework, if you need to watch this video again, please do so.